All right, we're still on the main floor, and I'm outside of the booth of Yang Wei. Now, you know it's late in the show when I ask Elena, am I pronouncing it correctly? And she looks at me and says, whatever. So let's go into Yang Wei and take a look at what they have to offer. All right, well, this is a family-owned business here. And so it's mom, dad, and daughter. And they really kind of specialize in jade and some carvings, but then they've got some really neat quartz that we're going to take a look at. And so this is the typical thing that the Chinese market is very interested in purchasing. These are all kinds of polished and carved jade pieces. We've got some beautiful colors in the jade there. And then we've got some pieces like this back here where it is ornamented with diamonds and looks a bit like a foot, but yeah, so these are some nice things. Here we start getting into that color that, oh man, look at this. So as a bracelet bangle, that color is pretty darn clear to Imperial Jade. I'm sure there are people like Barlocher who's rolling his eyes at me saying, but I, that is not Imperial Jade. That is near Imperial, but whatever. Beautiful color. I think typically for true Imperial Jade, what you're looking for is a little bit more clarity in the stone there so that it almost has a depthless view to it. You don't see any kind of inclusions as you see there. But nonetheless, that color is beautiful, and the bracelet that it's on just makes it just a wonderful individual piece. Here, by contrast, you have a lovely pair of earrings, but you can see that the color of the jade is significantly different, and that's what you're really looking for. And jade is a very, very, very complicated story, and we're actually going to have someone on Mineral Talks Live soon to talk about jade. And so, just a nice offering. We got a nice set of jade beaded necklace there, and that looks like it might be a ring right there. So lovely stuff. We're going to go over to the third of their outdoor cases here, and now we're just looking at the white jade here, which has its place. Personally, I'm probably not different from many other people who prefer the green jade, but that's a neat little Buddha carved out of jade, ringed in filigreed gold there. All right, going into the booth here, this is the family. Hello, everyone. Thanks for letting me come in. Now, here we have a carving. This is from Papa's personal collection, and as was explained to me earlier, he owned this, he sold it, he longed for it, he was sorry he sold it, he ended up buying it back, and now he has it on exhibit, obviously not for sale. So something about that piece really, really moved him. They are a pair of catfish sitting on a wooden base there, and just a really neat piece. But I also love that story behind it, because it's a story that's not dissimilar from a lot of stories we hear in the mineral world, where a dealer may have a piece, end up selling it, and then just longs for it and ends up buying it back. Usually not for the same price. Here is we're in the inner sanctums here. And again, these are the cases that we're used to seeing in terms of displaying fine minerals. And so here they're using it to display some of the fine jade. Here's a nice stela. I don't know why I want to call it that, but kind of a plaque. I can't make out what the carving is, if there is indeed a carving. It does look like it's kind of a mountain scene, but it's a neat little piece on a wooden display case like that. There's a little bowl. This is kind of neat with a Buddha inside this kind of little cave, if you will. And again, we see a lot of these pieces with the carved wooden bases that adds to the story. That wooden base is obviously the clouds and the wind, and a lot of times you'll see dragon motifs. We don't see one there, but still. Similar kind of thing, nice piece of jade sitting on a wooden base. Again, I'm really kind of starting to dig this this style, especially when the motif of the base plays in nicely with the carving. In this case, it's a Buddha, and I couldn't imagine that on like a lucite base and looking anywhere near as nice. And this is a great centerpiece display that you'd have in your house. Beautiful, beautiful little piece. Sorry, the zoom is counterintuitive to me, obviously, so I keep going out when I mean to zoom in. Don't know what the carving is, but hey, it means something to somebody. I love that little jade piece. And then you have kind of a little table setting in there. And then various kinds of teacups and teapots. Whoops. Going here, you've got a bunch of agate bowls that were carved out of, you would think this was local agate, but when I asked, some of this agate may be local agate, like these stones down there might be local, but a lot of this is Brazilian agate, which is similar in terms of sourcing that you hear from like Idar Oberstein. When they ran out of agates, they ended up sourcing a bunch of agates out of Brazil, and that heavily influenced their cuisine, and that's why some of their food is very much like the Brazilian churrascarias. These are some pieces that I thought were really cool. And so almost like a clutch mount, but wooden base with a nice little stand there. And then these are highly polished quartz pieces with inclusions in the back that really kind of make this like picture windows. So I thought those were kind of nice. This one really stands out for me. I love the color in there. You got the white billowy foreground, and then right behind it, you've got that really beautiful ochre color that evokes a wave on top of a wave, and perfectly balanced by this wooden base here. So very flowing. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful little thing to have on your mantle or wherever you place it. This is kind of neat also. Look at that base. It kind of feels almost like a wave or a fish coming out of the ocean. And just different kinds of things. Maybe you'd see this in some of the European shows, but you know, we're not just covering things that you're not going to see anywhere else. It's kind of neat with the lotus flower on top. I appreciate all these little miners in the foreground. So, yet another kind of neat vendor with a variety of things right here on the main drag at the 2024-19 or Nanjing show. Let me zoom into these. Now, you'll remember that we found a place that was selling these paintings, but they're not paintings, they're rock slabs. And so I think we're looking at very much the same things there. Rock slabs that are presented and prepared almost as if they were paintings. So that's it. Another cool vendor. Well, we've got more things out here, but I think everyone kind of gets the idea there.